I stood frozen, my heart pounding like a jackhammer, as the string lights overhead flickered, casting eerie shadows across the sprawling Napa Valley vineyard. The jazz band's smooth notes clashed with the chaos in my chest. This was supposed to be my night, my engagement party, the glittering start of forever with Ethan Caldwell. Instead, I was staring at my sister, Chloe Bennett, locked in a passionate embrace with my fiancé in the vineyard's old barn. Their silhouettes burned into my mind, a betrayal so raw it felt like a knife twisting in my gut. How could they? How could she? My own sister, stealing the man I'd loved for 5 years. The question hung heavy, was my entire life a lie? I'm Olivia Harper, 34, a tech VP in Silicon Valley, where I'd clawed my way up from a junior coder to a corner office. I'm not the type to crumble, resilient, sharp, the one who always has a plan. Ethan, 36, was my rock, a charming marketing director with a smile that could sell sand in a desert. We'd built a life together, late-night code sprints, weekend hikes in Marin, dreams of a house in Palo Alto. Chloe, 32, my younger sister, was the opposite, a social media influencer with 1 million Instagram followers, all charisma and zero accountability. Our parents, Diane and Richard, retired teachers from Sonoma, always doted on her, their golden girl, while I was the reliable one, expected to suck it up. Tonight, that dynamic would shatter. The vineyard, bathed in California's golden dusk, was a postcard of perfection, rows of grapevines, rustic wooden tables, guests sipping overpriced Chardonnay. But beneath the Instagram-worthy scene, a storm was brewing. I'd stepped inside the estate's chic tasting room to fix my makeup, my Vera Wang gown shimmering under the chandeliers. I was floating, drunk on love and champagne toasts. Ethan's speech had just brought the house down, his words about our future making my heart swell. But when I returned, he was gone. So was Chloe. A prickle of unease crept up my spine, like static before a lightning strike. Hey, Liv, I think they went toward the barn, my colleague Mia, a cybersecurity whiz with a knack for spotting trouble, said with a casual shrug. Her words hit like a warning shot. The barn, tucked behind a grove of olive trees, was notorious for clandestine meetups. I forced a smile, my heels clicking on the cobblestone path as I headed that way, the jazz fading into a distant hum. My ankle twisted on a hidden irrigation pipe, pain shooting up my leg. I stumbled, grabbing a vine to steady myself, inches from a steep drop into a ravine below. Close call, I thought, brushing it off. If only I'd known that was the least of my dangers tonight. The barn loomed ahead, its weathered wood glowing faintly under the moonlight. I slowed my pace, my breath catching. Then I saw them. Ethan, his hands tangled in Chloe's hair, kissing her with a desperation I'd never felt from him. Not a peck, not a mistake, a deep, hungry kiss that screamed. A story I'd been blind to. My world tilted. The air vanished from my lungs, replaced by a sharp, suffocating pain. I backed away, my ankle throbbing, one hand over my mouth to stifle a sob. They didn't see me. I turned and ran, my gown catching on brambles, tearing at the hem. I didn't care. I needed out. I stumbled through the vineyard, past oblivious guests, and out to the parking lot. My Tesla's tires screeched as I peeled out, Napa's winding roads blurring through tears. A semi-truck's headlights loomed, its horn blaring as I swerved, missing it by inches. My hands shook, knuckles white on the wheel. I drove until I hit Sacramento, pulling into a sketchy motel off the I-80, the kind of place you'd see in a true crime doc. The neon sign buzzed vacancy, and I fumbled my credit card, maxed out from party expenses, to book a room. Inside, the stale air and peeling wallpaper closed in. I collapsed on the bed, my engagement ring glinting mockingly in the dim light. 5 years gone. My phone buzzed, a relentless vibration in my hand. Ethan's name flashed first. I hesitated, my thumb hovering. Did I want to know? I had to. With a shaky breath, I opened his text. Liv, I'm so sorry you saw that. It's been going on for a year. I proposed to you to lock in a promotion at your firm, but I can't hide it anymore. I love Chloe. A year. A promotion. I was a pawn in his career game, a career placeholder, he'd called me. Nausea hit like a tidal wave. Then Chloe's text, Olivia, you're my sister, but Ethan and I are soulmates. It's destiny. Don't fight it. Destiny? She'd stolen my life and wrapped it in a fairy tale bow. No apology, just entitlement. I dialed Mia, my voice breaking as I choked out. I saw them. Ethan and Chloe. Kissing. Her sharp gasp cut through the line. Those absolute snakes, she spat, her hacker instincts kicking in. Read me the texts, Liv. We need to know what we're dealing with. Her calm urgency grounded me. I read Ethan's message, my voice flat, each word a fresh cut. Mia. Cursed, a string of expletives that would have made a trucker blush. Then Chloe's text, her smug soulmates claim, sent Mia into overdrive. I'm hacking his email. We'll bury him, she vowed. I nodded, though she couldn't see. Clutching the phone like a lifeline, that night, the motel's thin walls did little to block the chaos outside. A drunk guy pounded on my door at 2 a.m., slurring, "Let me in, Jenny." I froze, heart racing, as he jiggled the handle, mistaking me for someone else. I wedged a chair under the knob, my sprained ankle throbbing as I backed against the wall, praying he'd leave. He did, but sleep never came. My mind replayed the barn, Chloe's hands on Ethan, my parents' voices from years ago, "Don't be selfish, Olivia. Chloe's your sister." Like when she broke my grandmother's music box at 14, a family heirloom I'd cherished. They'd comforted her, dismissing my tears. It was always Chloe, the star, while I was the backdrop. For 3 days, I holed up in that motel, surviving on vending machine snacks Mia smuggled in. She'd hacked Ethan's email, uncovering flirty threads with Chloe stretching back a year, some sent from my office. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was professional sabotage. Mia urged me to go home, to face the wreckage. "You're stronger than this, Liv. Don't let them win." Steeling myself, I drove back to my San Francisco condo, a sleek high-rise I'd bought with my own sweat. But when I walked in, my stomach dropped. My parents, Diane and Richard, sat at my dining table with Chloe and Ethan, sipping coffee like a cozy Sunday brunch. Chloe's hand rested on Ethan's, their engagement rings glinting. My family, minus me, "Olivia, honey, we were so worried," my mother cooed, her eyes soft with pity. Worried? They were here, with them. Chloe leaned into Ethan, planting a soft kiss on his cheek. My mother dabbed her eyes, murmuring, "It's so beautiful, isn't it? True love." I stared, my brain short-circuiting. "Beautiful?" I choked out. He was my fiancé an hour before he was making out with her at our party. My father stood, his teacher's glare pinning me. "Enough, Olivia. Stop being dramatic. Chloe's happy. Be the bigger person." Chloe chimed in, her voice dripping with victimhood, "You're just jealous. You've always hated my success." The room spun. Jealous? Of her curated Instagram life, her endless need for validation? Years of being sidelined, Chloe's tantrums over my achievements, my parents' shrugs at my promotions, crashed over me. Then it happened. Chloe grabbed a wine glass from the table and hurled it at me, screaming, "You're ruining everything." It shattered inches from my head, glass spraying across my hardwood floor. My mother gasped but said nothing. Ethan smirked. That was it. Something snapped. "I'm done," I whispered, my voice low, dangerous. "You don't get to do this to me anymore." I stormed upstairs, my ankle screaming with each step, and yanked my largest suitcase from the closet. I packed methodically, laptops, tech awards, clothes, leaving family photos on the shelf. Their voices drifted up, debating my hysteria. They didn't follow. I dragged the suitcase down, my parents' eyes widening as I headed for the door. "Where do you think you're going?" my father barked. I paused, hand on the knob, and looked back at the people who'd chosen Chloe over me my entire life. "Somewhere you're not," I said, my voice steady. "Have a nice life." The door slammed behind me, the sound final, like a gavel. I drove to Mia's loft in Oakland, my phone buzzing with their calls. I blocked them all, Ethan, Chloe, my parents. A month later, a gold-embossed wedding invitation arrived at Mia's. Chloe and Ethan's faces beamed from the card. I lit a match and watched it burn, the ashes curling like my old dreams. Word spread fast in Silicon Valley. Colleagues, friends, even distant cousins rallied behind me, cutting ties with my family. On X, posts exploded, "Olivia Harper's sister stole her man, disgusting." Versus, "Family comes first, Olivia's being petty." The debate raged, splitting opinions, but I didn't care. I was done playing their game. I threw myself into work, pulling 80-hour weeks as VP of product development. My startup was launching a game-changing app, and I was the linchpin. But danger followed. A disgruntled ex-coder, fired for slacking, hacked our servers, leaking my personal emails to tech blogs. Harper's heartbreak, tech VP's fiancé cheats with sister, the headline screamed. My private pain was now a public circus. I pushed through, securing a major promotion and a penthouse with Fort Knox-level security. I joined a women's coding bootcamp, mentored young devs, built a life on my terms. 5 years passed, and at 39, I was a tech titan, my scars faded to thin lines. Then, one foggy San Francisco evening, my phone rang. An unknown number. I almost ignored it, but a gut feeling made me answer. "Olivia?" My mother's voice, frail, trembling. "It's Chloe. She's in trouble." Of course. It was always Chloe. "What do you want?" I asked, ice in my tone. She sobbed, a frantic rush of words, Chloe and Ethan's startup had tanked, hemorrhaging $150,000 to loan sharks. They'd burned through wedding cash, maxed out cards, and borrowed from men who didn't negotiate. My parents had sold their Sonoma home, drained their savings, even touched my trust fund, money meant for my future kids. "Please, Liv, help them," she begged. I laughed, a cold, hollow sound. "No. They made their bed. Let them lie in it." I hung up, my pulse racing. But it wasn't over. An hour later, my car's alarm blared. I checked the security feed. My Tesla, parked outside my office, had its tires slashed, a note under the wiper: "Pay up, or you're next." My blood ran cold. These weren't empty threats. Loan sharks didn't play. I upped my security, but the fear lingered. Who was watching? Me? Why now? The betrayal wasn't just a memory, it was a living nightmare, clawing back into my life. And somewhere, out there, Chloe and Ethan were scheming, desperate, dragging me back into their chaos. What would they do next? The fog clung to San Francisco like a shroud, curling around my penthouse windows as I stood frozen, staring at the slashed tires of my Tesla on the security feed. The note, "Pay up, or you're next," burned in my mind, its jagged scrawl a promise of violence. My name is Olivia Harper, and 5 years ago, my sister Chloe and my fiancé Ethan shattered my world at our engagement party in Napa Valley. I'd rebuilt my life as a tech VP, carved out a sanctuary of success and chosen family. But now, their chaos was back, clawing at my door. My mother's desperate call, begging me to bail them out of $150,000 in loan shark debt, had been the first crack. The vandalized car was the second. I felt it in my bones, this wasn't over. What did they want from me now? I leaned against the cold marble of my kitchen island, my sprained ankle from that night at the vineyard still aching, a reminder of how close I'd come to disaster. My phone buzzed, an unknown number. I ignored it, but my smartwatch pinged with an email notification. The subject line stopped my heart: Ethan's dirty money. The sender was anonymous, a string of random characters. I opened it, my pulse racing. Attached were bank statements, encrypted files, and screenshots of emails, proof Ethan had siphoned funds from their failed startup, funneling thousands into offshore accounts. Who sent this? A disgruntled employee? A rival? Or someone closer, watching me? I forwarded it to Mia, my cybersecurity guru and best friend, with a single word: help. Mia called within minutes, her voice sharp. "Liv, this is dynamite. Ethan's been cooking the books, and Chloe's signature is on half these transfers. They're in deeper than we thought." She paused, her tone dropping. "But this email? It's routed through a dark pool server. Whoever sent it doesn't want to be found. Be careful." Careful. The word felt hollow when my car was trashed and loan sharks were circling. I activated my penthouse's full security protocol: cameras, motion sensors, a panic button linked to a private firm. I wasn't taking chances. Not after Napa. Not after them. The next morning, I drove a rental to my office in Silicon Valley, the Bay Bridge glittering under a rare clear sky. My startup, Nexus Labs, was weeks from launching a revolutionary AI app, and I was the linchpin. But as I parked, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number: "You can't run, Olivia. Pay or bleed." My hands shook as I scanned the lot, half expecting a shadow to lunge. I reported it to the police, who filed it as a low-priority harassment case. "Probably just a prank," the officer said, shrugging. Prank? My gut screamed otherwise. Who was behind this? Chloe? Ethan? Or someone worse? At the office, I buried myself in code reviews, but the threat lingered like a virus. Mid-afternoon, my assistant, Priya, knocked, her face pale. "Olivia, there's a package for you. No return address." My stomach dropped. I told her to call security. They scanned it, non-explosive, but still suspicious. Inside was a USB drive and a note: "Watch this. Then decide." Against my better judgment, I plugged it into an air-gapped laptop. A grainy video loaded: Chloe and Ethan, in a dimly lit warehouse, handing a duffel bag to a man with a scar across his cheek. His voice was low, menacing: "You're short. Next time, I take more than money. Loan sharks. Real ones." My heart raced. Was this a warning or a trap? I sent the video to Mia, who traced the warehouse to Oakland's industrial district. "Liv, these guys are bad news, tied to a cartel. Chloe and Ethan are in over their heads, and they're dragging you in." I wanted to scream. I'd cut them out, built a fortress of a life, yet here they were, poisoning everything. That night, I doubled my security detail, but sleep eluded me. Every creak in my penthouse felt like a threat. At 3 a.m., my buzzer screamed. The video feed showed Chloe and Ethan in my lobby, haggard, desperate. Chloe jabbed the button, shouting, "Olivia, let us up." We're family. Ethan fiddled with a keycard, stolen, no doubt, from a maintenance worker. My security team was minutes away. I gripped my phone, my finger hovering over the panic button. They got past the lobby. I heard the elevator ding, then pounding on my door. Olivia, open up. Chloe's voice was shrill, unhinged. You owe us. Ethan's growl followed, don't make this harder than it needs to be. My heart thudded as the handle rattled. Violently. I backed away, my ankle screaming, and pressed the panic button. 3 seconds. Silent but deadly. The signal was out. Then, a crash, my door flew open. Ethan, eyes wild, held a switchblade, its blade glinting under my chandelier. Wire the money, Olivia. Now. Chloe lunged, shoving me hard. I stumbled, crashing into my glass coffee table. It shattered, shards slicing my arm, blood pooling on the floor. Pain seared, but adrenaline surged. Get out, I hissed, clutching my arm. Chloe screamed, you did this. If you'd paid, we wouldn't be here. She thrust a crumpled paper at me, a promissory note demanding I cover their debts. Ethan stepped closer, the knife trembling in his hand. Sign it, or I make sure you can't sign anything again. Time slowed. My eyes flicked to the hallway camera, its red light blinking. They're recording. I forced a calm I didn't feel. You're done, Ethan. Smile for the camera. Their faces paled as they followed my gaze. Chloe's scream was cut off by boots thundering in the hall. Security burst in, tasers drawn, pinning them to the floor. Ethan's knife clattered away. Chloe sobbed, she's framing us. Police arrived in under 2 minutes, sirens wailing. The lead officer, a no-nonsense woman named Torres, surveyed the scene, my bleeding arm, the shattered table, the knife. Ma'am, you okay? I nodded, shaking. They broke in. Assaulted me. Ethan blustered, it's a family dispute. She's lying. But the concierge, shaken, pointed to the lobby footage, Ethan picking the lock, shoving past him. We've got it all, he said. They cuffed Chloe and Ethan, reading their rights as Chloe wailed, Olivia, you're ruining my life. I stared at her, the sister I'd once loved, and felt nothing but cold resolve. They were led away, the elevator doors closing like a curtain on that chapter. The next day, tech blogs and X exploded. Tech VP Olivia Harper attacked by sister and ex-fiancé, screamed TechCrunch. X post split the internet, Olivia's a badass for standing her ground, versus, she's heartless, family first, no matter what. Chloe's influencer fans launched a #FreeChloe campaign, claiming I'd framed her with doctored footage. Framed? The accusation stung, but the security tapes were ironclad. Then came the anonymous email second wave, more files, showing Chloe had forged investor signatures to keep their startup afloat. Who was leaking this? A rival? A whistleblower? Or someone playing a bigger game? My parents showed up a week later, looking like ghosts of their former selves. My father's shoulders sagged, his eyes red. Olivia, we were wrong, he said, voice cracking. We failed you. My mother clutched a tissue, monotone, Aunt Carol, old friends, they're ashamed of us. They said we chose Chloe over you. I let them talk, their apology hollow, driven by the public shaming on X after I'd posted a raw thread. My family celebrated my sister stealing my fiancé. Now they beg for my money. I'm done. It went viral, fueling the debate. Team Olivia called me a survivor, Team Chloe branded me a vindictive snob. I didn't care. I forgive you, I told them softly, but not for you. For me. We're done. They left, silent, the door clicking shut, but the shadows didn't lift. A sealed court document arrived, marked, confidential, Chloe Bennett. I didn't open it, but its weight haunted me. What secrets was she hiding? Then, a bombshell. Chloe and Ethan's startup had been bailed out by a mysterious investor who vanished after wiring $200,000. Who were they? A savior? A manipulator? I pushed it aside, focusing on my gala for Nexus Labs. The ballroom sparkled, my chosen family, colleagues, ments, raising glasses to our app's launch. Mia toasted, to Olivia, who built an empire from ashes. Laughter filled the air, but my smile had a nagging fear. The loan sharks were still out there. The anonymous sender was still watching. 6 months later, I stood on my balcony, the city lights a constellation of my triumph. Chloe and Ethan had declared bankruptcy, their dreams crumbling into a trailer park in Modesto. I'd heard through Mia they were fighting, their soulmate love cracking under pressure. I didn't gloat. I felt nothing. Just peace. The court document,